Alrighty guys, welcome back to 1822 MC Adventures and More. This is my channel. My name is Pete. And today we are going to do some advanced cane poling and some fly bug fishing. That's right, let's see what happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the widow stick and I'm going to use up the last of my night crawlers. Hopefully catch a catfish or something like that. And then on my poppers and my fly bugs and whatnot, I will try to catch a brim so I can switch over to cut bait on the widow stick. And I'm going to be going for a whopper on this today. I don't care if it's a big catfish, a big bowfin, or a gar. But I want something big on this today to put it to its limits. And I want to stand corrected from the other day. I have been using this thing kind of sort of like a fly rod. I extended out, been running the line up through the eye, keeping it tied down here, and then that way I can work the string a little bit. But every time I've caught something big, I felt like the thing was going to break. So today I'm going to be wrapping the string around the pole to give the backbone a little more strength. We'll see how that works out. I mean, you do it with a normal cane pole. Probably really should do it with this one because I've heard some stories of the eye pulling out on these things. So wouldn't want to have a nice fish on here and have the eye pull out and then I'll be sitting here trying to bring him in by hand. That's not going to work. So let me get everything geared up and ready to go, and let's go fishing. So I'm using a Joe's fly on my vintage Shakespeare combo rod, which if I chose to, I could have a fly reel on here, but I prefer a spinning reel. And even though it's kind of like a fly rod, I have caught some decent sized fish on this over the years. But like I said, I'm starting out with the Joe's fly, and now what I'm doing here on the Widowmaker is I've got an old-fashioned bait hook, and that's on a 25-pound shock leader. I've got a 14-pound test leader, a split shot, a swivel, and a float. And I'm running probably 4.5 feet. Let's put a night crawler on here and see if I can't catch a fish with this. Alrighty guys, here we go. Big old juicy night crawler. Let's toss him out there and see if we can't catch us a catfish, bowfin, or a gar. I'm going to let that sit there for a minute or two before I bust out the Joe fly. Now, a reminder, these things have small hooks with a treble hook trailer, and they're very, very sharp. Alrighty guys, it looked to me like I had a bait thief out there, so I took the bobber off and put it on the bottom and see what happens. So I'm getting a little nervous. I've got one night crawler left, but of course I always have a backup plan. I've got these little jigs, and I'm going to put a jig head on there and a piece of worm. And we'll see if I can't get me a little sunfish. Alrighty guys, a jig head with a worm on it and a float. Let's see if I can get some cut bait. Alrighty guys, we're back in business. I just got done catching a little bluegill and put him up here on the hook and see what happens. Alright, so he's just kind of stuck on there. I'm going to just lob it out there. Actually, I'd like to lob it out there better than that. Now we got a fish head out there floating. Let's see what happens. Alrighty guys, so you got your little jig head tied on, and you don't want to take it off to put a new jig on there. Some of you probably know this, some of you might not. I'm going to show you a little trick here. You take your tube jig, don't go in the front of it, come in the back of it a little bit. So then you got him run through there, see? And then you push this in there. And pull it out around the head, ta-da! And I didn't have to untie. Now it is pretty snaggy here, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here and see if I can make at least a couple casts without losing it. No, I think I might be waiting. Whoa, I might actually have it. Ooh. Oh, I lost him. Well, let's try it again. Whatever it was, it had some size to it. Alright, so I'm going to swap out the bait holder hook for a small circle hook. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and throw this old beat up head back out there. Alright, let's see if we can get some fresh cut bait here. I took that tube jig off and put a little piece of worm back on there. Wind seems to be kind of blowing a bunch, so I don't think I'm going to have much luck with popper flies and stuff today, but I will try later. Alright, we got one, guys. Holy shit. Ow. Hey. Whoa. Wow. I am not about to waste this one for bait. That's a nice one. Just going to throw him back. Alrighty guys, I caught him right there at the edge of the bank, so let's see if we can repeat that. Alright guys, here we go. My battery's about dead. I'm going to change out the battery and watch me catch a whopper. Alrighty guys, check it out. Just like I said, I'd turn the camera off and I'd catch a fish. This is the second shell cracker I've caught. I'm keeping these things. Yeah, and I caught it right here on that bank, right on the edge of the bank. So I'm going to do the same thing. I still got a piece of worm. I probably got 4 more segments of worm, and then I'll have to try something else. But I keep catching shell crackers like that. I'm absolutely going to have shell cracker for dinner tonight. Alright, we're going to put this one on a float. See if we can get a bite. Somebody robbed me of that head. It was probably a turtle. He finned me. I should use him for bait, but he's a pretty little bluegill, so we'll let him grow. Alrighty, so I took the split shot off. We'll just throw this out with just the meat on there. Whoa! If I could just get him to circle back. Yeah, that's the only problem I'm seeing with the widow stick is I can't give them enough line to hang themselves. So all we can do is get them to circle back, right? Alrighty guys, well, about the only thing I got to show for myself today is a bag of garbage. And that thing will be absolutely full by the time I get back up to my motorcycle. Guarantee it. So today wasn't a total loss, even though I came out here and as I always got upset about all the trash out here. I did find a jar of crickets. They're like dead ones. I don't know. I guess they're preserved or whatever, but I'll try them next time I go cane poling. And then I found a beetle spin, and then some jerk left a jerk bait hanging off the tree. I'm pretty sure that one of the fish I was fighting was a bowfin. Another one might have possibly been a catfish. Another one may have been a turtle. Had a line failure on something that was big. And then when the camera was turned off, I caught a gar that was probably around 40 inches. So, needless to say, when I go home, I'm going to refresh my memory on how to catch a gar. I have not went gar fishing specifically, you know, I hate to admit it, probably since the 90s. You know, I've seen gar out here all day coming up to the surface, and I got to refresh my memory on how to catch a gar. So, in closing, even though I didn't put a fish up on the bank, it was nice to sit out here and argue and fight with someone besides myself, even though I didn't get him up on the bank. Had a couple good fights. And I really wish the camera would have been on for that big gar, because I shit you not, he was in the 40-inch range, and I was yanking on him good, and he jumped all the way out of the water, shook his head a couple times, and spit the hook, just like you would see on a South Florida tarpon fishing show. I was amazed. I mean, I'm like, damn, man, I need to get my gar back on. I mean, bowfins are fun. I enjoy catching them, but I have a feeling gar is high on the list. So I got things I got to do, but I feel a lot better after coming out here and just sitting out here for a couple hours. Even though I didn't put nothing on the bank, it was still all good. Be dragging a bag of trash out, so we're gonna have to have another cleanup soon, guys. It's terrible. No excuses for this shit. There really ain't. As I circle back to you, Comrade Cooper, you piece of shit. You're one of the main reasons, besides people just being pieces of shit in general, that the woods is so trashed. More on that later, guys. That being said, keep your lines tight, pick up people's trash, just act like a human being. Even though in today's world, you no longer have to be responsible for yourself and you can actually be a piece of shit and no one seems to give a fuck. Some of us, even though we're all dying off, some of us still give a fuck. And if every person that gives a fuck can pass that fuck onto a younger person, well, maybe we won't lose everything. I don't know. Alrighty, guys, that's it. Another episode's up and done. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. Hope to see you next time. So, what do you say we ride on out of here? Follow me. I know a shortcut.